friends, and welcome to the den with me, Justin, the Red Island Shaver. So happy to have you along here, spending some of your day with me in my shave den. So today, Shavette, some tips and tricks, volume 2. There still seems to be a bit of, an enigma around Shavettes, and sometimes I think they get a bad rap. And hopefully today we can dispel some of that and set you up for success if Shavette shaving is something that you would like to endeavor into. So let's get right into it. Soap for today is going to be a bit of autumnum. I'm in the mood for something green and grassy, and Mickey Lee Soaoworks Reunion hits that on every mark. Oh, what a nice, gorgeous Vetiver scent that this is. Absolutely love it. It's a nice dark Vetiver, and just a killer scent. Going with the same brush once again, the Ever Ready. Let's see if I can find the logo on it there. I think, is that where it is? I think. I don't know, I think it says Ever Ready. Ever Ready vintage handle with a Whip Dog Badger knot. I shampooed this after the last video because this was kind of numbing the lather. So I give it a bit of a clean, a very vigorous shampooing, and let's see if that will help it release some lather. And initially, it looks like it's picking up the lather deep in that knot very nicely, which is what I want to see. And yeah, so we'll give this a go. Great green scent on this, like I already mentioned. It's a nice dark vetiver. It's not a super bright one. This one's just nice and grassy and unctuous and just dark and deep and luscious. Very nice. We're going to go with a heavy load on this. Very heavy load. Mickey Lee Soaoworks had a wonderful base. The soap base has always treated me very well. I really, really like it. We get that proto lather. We'll rub that in. And yes, hope everybody's having a great week. Going pretty good here. I was out scouting a new fishing spot that I meant to get to last year and didn't because reasons. So I was out scouting that yesterday with my wife. I took a drive out. It looks good. And more importantly, I can see good all around the site. Had no problems seeing out into the water where all those little fishies are swimming. So yeah, hopefully we won't have any problems actually casting and fishing. I still might have a little bit of problem tracking my line through the water or through the air as it flies, but I mean, with fishing, as long as you know which way your rod tip is pointed, that's generally where your line is going to go. And I mean, I've been angling since I was a kid, so it's all like second nature. So I think I'll be fine. I tend to overthink these things a lot until I actually get out there and throw a line in the water. I'm going to continue to overthink it, but anyway, so we'll get into this. Some talking points, and I will set this soap away. I don't think I'm going to need a refresh on that. So some talking points with the Shavettes. They're really nothing to be feared, but I do want to mention some things. An important thing with Shavettes, right off the bat, is going to be, don't go cheap on your Shavette. I know the temptation is there to get something super cheap because you're like, well, I don't know if I'm going to like shaving with a Shavette, and I don't want to spend a bunch of money and end up hating it. And I do get that aspect of it, but do keep in mind, like everything in wet shaving, you do get what you pay for, ultimately. So your experience with said Shavette may be very different with a cheaper, poorly constructed Shavette than it would be with a slightly more higher end, well-built, professional grade shaving implement. Because keep in mind, the Shavettes are more or less designed for the barber's market, for professionals to use. We just happen to use them because we also like them. So, and I'm not saying you got to go out and buy the one that I have, which is a fairly high-end Shavette and fairly expensive. That is a big upfront cost, you know, especially if you're just looking into getting into Shavette shaving. That being said, it is probably one of the better half-blade DE or half DE blade Shavettes on the market. And this lather's coming together nice. That's what I want to see. I want to see lather down in that knot. I want to see it peeking out the flow through at the bottom, which it's doing. Loaded this way too heavy. This soap will take a lot of water. So keep in mind on that. Also, blade choice. Very, very, very important. With a feather style or an AC style Shavette, you're really locked into a handful of blades. You have the different feather blades, then you have the Kai blades, and then that's about it for your choices. But with the DE, half DE Shavettes, the world is your oyster. You can put any half DE blade in the razor. So if you're just starting out, use blades that you're very familiar with and work well for you. So if you're a shaver that likes a blade on the milder side, like an Astra SP or, you know, a Voscod even, I find those a pretty mild blade. If those are in your wheelhouse, now is not the time to decide to try a feather high stainless. And if your skin doesn't really tolerate the sharper blades and you don't get along well with them, in a DE razor, you were not going to get along well with them in a Shavette because there was nowhere to hide. So stick with blades you know. A half DE blade Shavette is not the tool for blade experimentation. It is a tool to use blades that you are familiar with inside and out. Until you get experienced with it, then you can start experimenting with blades to see which ones are going to work better for you in the Shavette, but only once you get experienced with using this thing. So the Shavette for me, of course, is going to be the Focus Slim Aluminum in green. Go Team Green. It's a beautiful piece of engineering. Got that built-in bevel right down at the leading edge. I do have a feather in here on its fourth use, I do believe, because I do like the feathers in this. And but I've tried Astras in here and Voscods, and they worked very well indeed. So one of the most important things in DE Shavette shaving, AC Shavette shaving, or straight razor shaving, no pressure. I'm gonna say I use positive pressure, and all that positive pressure I mean is I'm just putting enough positive pressure against my face to keep this in contact with my face. You don't want to lift and put on, lift and put on, lift and put on. I did watch a video the other day and the strokes were fairly short and choppy, and lifting, putting back on, lifting, putting back on, lifting, putting back on. That's when you're going to get cut. With any unguarded blade, 9 times out of 10, that's when you're going to get cut, is the putting the blade onto the face. So a little bit of positive pressure just to keep it flat on my face. I rotate in to find the angle. And there's the stroke. Slightly longer strokes. And just let the blade do the work. This blade is ridiculously sharp. It needs no help cutting the whiskers. It's going to do it all by itself. On the neck. Now I do lift a little bit there because nobody is perfect. And then I finish my stroke. And we'll switch sides. Same on the left. Nice long strokes. Rinse off because I'm going to bloop. But just nice and easy. We're not rushing. We're not changing angles. We're keeping that consistent angle. And there you go. First pass done. So I guess when I really hone in on it, I do lift mine a little bit as well. So try not to do that, especially if you're new. Do as I say, not as I do. But I guess that's the technique I've developed over time. I do a short little stroke and then I come back in for a longer stroke. Try not to do that. Try and do as long strokes as you can. And damn it, this knot is still eating that lather a bit, and it's disappointing. That is very disappointing. I don't know if I can resurrect it or not either. Oh, maybe. Maybe. We'll see how that goes. May have overhydrated a bit too. All right, so now across the grain, pull on the ear a bit just to stretch, and the same premise. Nice even strokes. And all I'm doing is I am just putting this on, and this has the built-in bevel, so I'm putting it on with the spine and then just angling down. And letting that blade do its thing. Two days growth today. But yeah, so also try not to be afraid of the Shavette. Set yourself up for success. Try not to go into the shave thinking, this is going to be a bloodbath. I'm going to get cut to pieces. Try not to think that way. Just try to remember that you were in control, not the Shavette. Let the Shavette do the work. It'll take care of you real nice. So far the shave is going great. Nice slick soap helps. And try and stick with the same soaps when you're learning shavettes, or straight razors for that matter. And yeah, that just disappeared on me. That's very unfortunate. This is the second shave in a row with this brush. I have to go back to the puck. I'm not happy about that. I don't know what to do to remedy that either. I have shampooed this. I don't know. That was a heavy load too. Oh, I don't know. People are going to cringe at that, but I will I'll clean that up off camera. All right. Brush is letting me down. I don't like that. And it's a shame because it's a really nice brush. It's very soft on the face. I really do like it. This is right when I want kind of a slicker lather for this last pass, but I don't think we're going to get that today. It's going to be a slightly thicker lather. And don't be afraid to use buffing strokes either while keeping contact with your face. I'm going to be doing some buffing strokes on this pass, but I'm not going to be lifting the razor. I'm just going to be buffing. Learn to back off when the razor is telling you that it doesn't want to cut at that angle that you're at. You may need to readjust. Just listen to the razor. It'll tell you everything you need to know. All right. And across the grain, or against the grain. Very nice. I might need to rinse. Get too much lather on the blade. This is where you want the thicker or the thinner lather. Beautiful, and those are those buffing strokes I was talking about. My growth over on the left side, I really need to buff a lot. But as I'm buffing, I am keeping pressure against the razor. I should clean that off so I can see what I'm doing. But yeah, with the buffing, I'm keeping that bevel right against my face. I'm not lifting it. I'm also not gripping the razor too tightly either. Just pinching it fairly easily. There, a little trouble spot. All right. And that was the shave with the Shavette. I'm going to do my quick cleanup off camera. The DE, my usual cleanup, and we will be back for the conclusions. Back in a second. And I'm back, and that was a very nice shave indeed. Quick little bit of touch up afterwards, like I always do, to get that straight across the grain on the neck. And we got it pretty much pretty much BBS, a little bit of DFS in areas, but that will dehydrate down. And we'll go with the matching splash alcohol in this. So we're gonna quickly feel how well of a job I have done with the Shavette today. But all in all, I felt that went very, very well. So hopefully you guys found some helpful hints within this video. Even though I guess I did kind of botch my demonstration in a way of the trying to keep the razor on your skin as much as possible. I guess when I really dial in on it, I do notice I do lift it off. I do a short stroke and then a long stroke. If you can, try and avoid that when you're learning. Try not to develop bad habits, I guess, right off the bat. But with a bit of care and attention and a willingness to learn, a Shavette can be a wonderful part of your shaving arsenal. I actually do quite enjoy them. I do like my real straight razors, but I also really enjoy the Shavette shaves because I do get just a little bit closer with the mechanically sharpened blade. So I really do like using them, and I use them off camera quite a bit actually, and you know, keeps the skills sharp. A bit of a disappointment with that brush. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. That might be relegated maybe to a bowl lathering brush from here on in. Yeah, because then it could just sit in the lather and you just scoop it up and put in your face. Anyway, as far as being a face latherer, not so sure. But anyways, that's the video. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. If you're liking this content, please consider hitting that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. That helps the channel grow, helps the community grow. So until the next time, my friends, be safe, be kind to one another. Most importantly, have a great day and even better shave, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace, and I love you.